Good evening, and welcome to Horror Historian. My name is Amanda, and tonight we'll be discussing the 1999 comedy horror. Okay, it's not really a horror movie. It's Jawbreakers. This is a movie that the homosexuals said that I would enjoy, and they were right. They have yet to steer me wrong, actually, now that I think about it. But I was not prepared for this movie, and I mean that in the best of ways. This movie was written and directed by Darren Stein. He's most known for GDS and All About Evil. He was also a guest judge on multiple episodes of the Boulet Brothers' Dracula. The stars are Rose McGowan, Rebecca Gayheart, Judy Greer, Carol Kane, and Pam Grier, which is an all-female cast. Fantastic. I mean, there's men here, but, they don't matter. McGowan is most known for Scream, Charms, Grindhouse, and Standing Up Against Harvey Weinstein. Gayheart is most known for Scream 2, Urban Legend, and GDF. Greer is most known for The Village, Halloween Kills, and she has been on the channel before in Curse. Kane is most known for being a comedy icon. She has been in When a Stranger Calls, The Princess Bride, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and Scrooge. And Pam Grier is most known for being a 1970s icon. She has been in Jackie Brown, Mars Attacks, Women in Cages, and most famously, Foxy Brown. Okay, Jackie Brown and Foxy Brown are the ones I know her as most. The movie opens with the flawless four, teenage girls embodying high school royalty. Courtney is their leader. Marcy, nicknamed Foxy, is her perfect sidekick. Julie is present and pretty. And then Liz is something else entirely. She has something that Courtney doesn't have, a heart. That makes the very next scene all the more jarring. Liz is ambushed, a jawbreaker forced into her mouth, and then her mouth being sealed shut with tape. She is tossed into the trunk of her car where it is revealed that it is her friend. They are doing a birthday prank, and it might have gone off without a hitch if it wasn't for Courtney and going a little too far. When they finally open the trunk at her favorite breakfast spot, they find out that she has died in the transport. She had suffocated, the jawbreaker visibly lodged inside of her throat. She couldn't get it back out with her mouth taped shut and her hands tied behind her back. Her friends were singing along while she suffocated alone. It's kind of a tragedy that is horrifically forgotten by no one else really discusses it. It just happened, and then everything else happens. Panic sets in when they realize that this is serious, and Courtney takes control. She refuses to let the prank gone wrong ruin their lives, and they are not going to the police. Instead, they're going to stage the scene in Liz's bedroom and figure out a way to point their fingers towards someone else. They carry on at school like nothing happened, with Liz in the trunk still. With Liz's parents not home, they figure they have a little bit of room before anyone discovers what really happened. The group debates who should call the school to excuse Liz's absence, to buy them even more time and explain why she isn't there. Courtney ultimately makes the call herself. The principal doesn't ask many questions and promises to have someone bring her homework to the house after school, an errand that will likely fall to one of them, being one of her best friends. Go to school and pretend like nothing happened. Julie bumps into Fern, a former childhood friend. I'll admit it right now, I skipped it. Do not look at me, and do not look at my AO3 history. We're just not going to talk about it. Everyone out of the bathroom so that they can scheme and regroup. This is the only privacy that they are going to get, and they can get it only because of their social hierarchy. They can literally clear a room on command. They need to figure out how to stage Liz's death scene. I'm genuinely shocked that nobody noticed that Courtney's car has started to smell. Courtney's idea is honestly tasteless, to the point where you kind of wonder if she just wants to tarnish Liz's reputation. She wants to make Liz look as though she died in the middle of a sector act with a jawbreaker accidentally ending up down her throat. There's no way that Courtney wasn't a little happy to, get this chance. However, she misses her opportunity to grab Liz's homework from the principal. The principal had been in a hurry and pawned the task off on Fern, who is more than happy to take on the task. Fern has a full-blown obsession with Liz. Honestly, it's a blessing Liz is already dead, because this planned conversation would have been deeply uncomfortable to watch. Courtney, Foxy, and Julie are already at the house because they took Courtney's car over. They assume Fern will just leave the homework and move on. What they don't realize is that Fern is a lot more curious than is socially appropriate. This is difficult to move, and in moving her, Foxy ends up screaming. Fern enters Liz's house in an attempt to make sure that everything's okay. Her intentions are good, but instead she ends up hearing the entire conversation about the murder they just committed, and instead of running, she freezes, and it's long enough to be caught by Courtney. This is where Courtney proves how dangerous and quick on her feet she is. With Foxy massaging Fern's shoulders to really emphasize how cornered she really is, Courtney lays out an offer that Fern doesn't feel like she can refuse. Not that she wish she could. Julie doesn't want any part of this, so it's going to be a fabulous 3 with Fern filling out the group. If Fern keeps quiet, she's going to be the most popular girl at their school behind Foxy and Courtney. To a teenage outsider, that's a life-saving grace. In her mind, the makeover is a medical procedure, a clinical transformation. Meanwhile, we cut to the imagery of Liz's corpse being handled by a coroner, which obviously isn't happening right now. One girl is replaced by another, except now with Julie out, they aren't looking to remake the Fab Four. It's going to be a try, guys kind of situation. The four girls leave the house, leaving Liz's parents to return home and find her body in that position. They're devastated, but the state scene has everyone on edge. Even though Julie left everything behind, she can't go to the police to confess what happened. It's her word against three, and the odds are not in her favor. It would have been easy to point the fingers at her if it was necessary. Soon after, Detective Vera Cruz arrives at the school. She's played by Pam Grier, which is a little funny considering she is Foxy Brown. Here she is, and in this movie, there's a white teenager calling herself Foxy. Detective Cruz immediately sets her sights on questioning Liz's closest friends, Courtney, Foxy, and Julie. Both don't give Detective Cruz much. She radiates suspicion as she eyes these three girls, especially considering their current friendship status. To be fair, she's clocked Courtney, immediately. Courtney is spending time redirecting suspicion, and she picks the most deranged way possible. She has sex with some random guy in Liz's bed, planting DNA evidence to frame him as the last person to be with Liz. The guy doesn't really matter. Courtney just wants to protect herself. Honestly, I kind of love how shameless and ruthless she is. While Courtney is keeping herself out of trouble, Julie starts to connect with Zach, the head heterosexual theater kid. There's always one, and this one's not bad. Exactly the kind of person to land when Julie needs the rest of the world, because the rest of the world is turned on her. They're quite a cute couple, even if I still think Julie and Fern are in love. Anyway, Courtney notices Julie's connection with Zach. Fern, however, is thriving. She has fallen deep into her transformation, and she is so unrecognizable that Courtney renames her Violet, spelled VYlettte, because normal spelling is beneath Courtney's personal Barbie project. Fern is more than happy to get comfortable in this new life, especially since no one remembers Fern. The only person that does is Julie. She takes a second to recall a sweet childhood memory that the two of them shared. It's a moment where Julie shows genuine kindness towards her, but Fern pulls herself away before she can look at the life that she had once had. Detective Cruz gets Fern into for questioning, since she was technically the last person to see Liz alive by all accounts. The conversation quickly makes it clear that Fern had a little bit of an affection with Liz, but you can kind of see the mental note being made by Detective Cruz, who kind of tossed herself at the top of the suspect list, considering that she is practically Liz after her death. Courtney realizes that she might have to do a little bit more covering of her ass. Cruz listens, thinking she doesn't really trust Courtney's word or particularly like her. Courtney feeds her the information that Liz had secretly been a sex addict, and Courtney had been covering up for her, trying to protect her friend's reputation. But it shows how far Courtney is willing to rewrite history for her favor. While Courtney is busy obsessing over damage control, Violet's star is eclipsing hers, faster than anyone expected. She's the hybrid of Courtney's glamour and Liz's likability. She is also milking her status as the last person who was seen was alive. It's morbid, but it works for her. Courtney has also nudged her in the direction of going after Zach, hoping to complicate Julie's life. Julie, meanwhile, is having a real bond with the guy. They have a place to go, and they get to the point where she feels like she can be 100% honest with him. She admits everything that happened with Liz, and the fact that she's unable to do anything about it. She can't go to the police. It's her word against three others. Fern could have been her ally, but Violet has taken over her entire life, and she's not going to give that up. By now, Courtney thinks that everything is wrapped up with a little bow, but she didn't take into consideration the monster that she had created. Fern's transformation has worked a little too well, and Violet has started to eclipse her. People are interested in her, not showing Courtney much interest, and that is something that Courtney can't begin to tolerate. So she takes the nuclear option. She prints out posters of Violet before the transformation, reminding everyone of the weird girl named Fern. It reminds everyone that she was invisible, awkward, and forgettable. They had certainly forgotten her, and Courtney takes her place at the head once again, no longer afraid of anyone, with Fern and Julie firmly in their places. Fern is laughed at and openly mocked by all the students that had been worshipping her up until this point. She faints and smacks her head hard enough into the ground that she starts bleeding, but no one cares enough to help her, and instead, some of the posters are put over her kind of like a blanket of garbage, and everyone else just kind of walks around her and ignores her. It's horrifying as a former teenage girl. Zach are the ones that find her, reaching out when she's at her lowest. Julie knows what it feels like to fall from grace, although hers was much quieter and less publicly humiliating. The three of them reconnect in that moment, and Zach doesn't seem to mind sliding into that little trouble. It's Fern that delivers one of the sharpest lines of the movie. She's so evil, and she's only in high school. It's hilarious, and it really does nail the character of Courtney. That night, Julie sits in bed and sifts through some of the things that Liz's mother had dropped off for her. It's a small but meaningful reminder that Liz isn't just a plot device. She was someone that Julie really cared about, and amid the chaos, Liz has almost been forgotten. Julie stumbles across the proof that she didn't realize she was looking for. Liz had a card that you could record a message for. What no one realized was that the card had been recording at the exact moment that Courtney bragged about killing Liz. It's kind of iconic when she says that she killed a teenage dream, and that's why it's an iconic queer film. Meanwhile, prom looms over the school. It's the ultimate high school stage, so of course, it is going to be the end of this movie. With Violet being dethroned, Courtney is the uncontested frontrunner for prom queen. That makes this perfect moment for them to get revenge and reveal the truth once and for all. Sure, they could go to Detective Cruz, and that would have been the correct legal move, but this is a movie, and we're here for the drama. And honestly, after everything Courtney put them through publicly, revenge it could also be public. She destroyed reputations without blinking, so why shouldn't hers be destroyed in the same way? The cracks in Courtney's empire start showing even before prom night is over. Foxy hesitates for just a bit too long in fawning over Courtney, and that pause says everything. Courtney demands worship, and even her inner circle isn't quite keeping up to her liking anymore. There aren't enough people anymore. Courtney is unsurprisingly crowned the prom queen, and while she is on stage, the recording is playing. There is no mistaking what she is saying, and she immediately goes from an untouchable queen to an exposed murderer. Even if it was a complete accident, everything after has not been. Detective Cruz arrests Courtney, and she is humiliated. Worse than abandoned, she's dethroned and rejected by the same student body that she had manipulated this entire time. She ends the night even less popular than Fern before her glow-up. Still, if we're being honest, she's going to thrive in prison. She's terrifying, and that kind of ability to manipulate people doesn't just disappear. So she'll be fine in prison. The gay community has not steered me wrong when it comes to movies. Not just horror movies, but movies in general. So this is one of the movies I felt the need to cover as a member of the Alphabet Mafia. Is it strictly horror? No, not really. Is Courtney a terrifying villain? Yes. Yes, he is. He's solid, and the one-liners work so well. You end up feeling a little bit bad for Liz because she had some really shitty friends. She really only had one girl that cared about her, and the other three saw her as more of a prop than anything else. Then one of the people that she worshipped her kind of single white femaled her, although she wasn't involved with the murder. At the end of the day, though, this movie is all about meeting it where it's at. Jawbreaker isn't trying to be serious. It's campy, messy, and unapologetically overdramatic. You suspend your disbelief, roll with the heightened high school chaos, and enjoy the ride. It's teen melodrama dialed up to 11, and this is the point. The movie didn't make back its budget. It cost like $3.5 million, and it paid like $3.1 million. People complained and said that it was a bad taste, and it was really not well received one bit, which means that it is right up my road. I am a parishioner at a church of bad taste.